He's being paid to run against other Democrats. I think it's an outrage. I don't know if I have standing, but I might give the DNC $10 and sue him. He's a contemptible little twerp, if you ask me.
Well, I think Christmas came early. You may have heard the rumors or read some headlines that there's a little civil war going on behind the scenes with the DNC or the Democrat Party. Turns out this is absolutely true, and we are in the early stages of this civil war. This man right here is David Hogg. You've probably seen him before. He is a DNC vice chair, and from here, let us begin our journey into the DNC civil war.
Democratic strategist James Carville said in response to this announcement of this plan that you have to primary Democrats, he said that the DNC should sue you and called you, quote, a contemptible little twerp. What is your reaction to that?
Try it. That is my reaction. I would also say James Carville has not won an election since before I was born. I think it's time to have new leaders in our party that are ready to meet this moment, because a lot of the people that are most critical of this plan are the same ones that had $2 billion to win an election and still lost. So I think the experts can save it, because it's time for some new ideas.
All right, this is hilarious. So this is the grand scheme of a plan that David Hogg has. He wants Democrats to run against other Democrats while at the same time using Democrat donations to beat other Democrats. It's absolutely insane. But what's even more crazy is that Bernie Sanders and AOC actually agree with this strategy and plan.
Let me make a point about Bernie and AOC. But Bernie went for president twice. He's lost twice. AOC, in her kind, and this guy, David Hogg, they want to run against other Democrats. Yeah. They don't run against Republicans. Well, when you beat a Republican, come back and see me, and I will be impressed. But if you're spending all your time, and I think that's the real problem. And I mean, it's fine. They draw big crowds. They draw everything. That's great. But all they want to do, and all this guy Hogg wants to do, is they want to beat, like Democrats are not the problem right now. We're not holding an innocent person in El Salvador in jail. We're not starting a trade, an ill-thought-out, idiotic trade war. And yet they're spending all their time, a lot of their time, I'll be fair to Bernie and AC, they do attack Trump, but they never run against Republicans. And when Bernie ran twice as a Democrat, he lost, and he lost by a lot.
Now, I was really curious, what is David Hogg all about? I mean, he must have some talking points that are really out there and really special and really represent what he wants the new Democrats to be about. Well, here's a recent clip I found of David Hogg, and I think it speaks for itself.
This was not an MS-13 gang member, and you damn well know that.
Oh, come on.
He was not.
Okay,
and
so keep defending this guy.
The administration admitted this was wrong. In America, we have due process, and we are a land of law and order. We are a land of law and order. And this administration is repeatedly showing time and time again they do not care about what the Supreme Court says. They do not care about the rule of law. And you cannot defend sending people to another country.
Just did a poll
to another country where they don't have
Americans
rights.
Think that
where he's
all
denied counsel,
illegal immigrants
due process,
should be
and so
deported,
much more.
by the way. So you're losing your effort.
Now, look, I'm not a Democrat, so I could care less, but I figured, let's see what David Hogg is all about. Maybe he has these talking points that we've never seen, and he would crush any opposition. It turns out he's literally saying the exact same thing every single other Democrat is saying. So it seems like he's more upset about the age of a Democrat, or they're not being as outspoken. And I love at the very end, David Hogg can't even respond to the polls and statistics that Democrats are losing as far as this talking point, yet he is well aware of the 21% approval rating. I find that rather interesting. Let's move on.
The DNC is getting ready to rob the progressive wing again, but this time the wing has a new coup fund.
As I was president of Leaders We Deserve in the years prior to this, where we worked in primaries to help elect young Democrats to state legislatures and Congress. And I want to clear one thing up. This is not an issue that we're taking with age in particular. Look, there are ineffective older people and ineffective younger people across our party. What we're trying to do here is not just focus on primaries where there's potentially an older incumbent, but more than anything, an ineffective person in that position, and replace them with a generational leader.
Hogg and millennials hate the old guard like Carville, and let's just say the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, again, I mean, this is hilarious because as a conservative, we actually agree with you, Hogg. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting other Democrats. I'm sure it's going to work out well. But again, from the surface level, if you're just watching this, every single time David Hogg talks about another Democrat, he almost is always qualifying it with the age of somebody or the new generation. So it's very difficult, even if you're down the middle and you could care less. If you're watching this, there's almost no way to say David Hogg doesn't care about age. He keeps bringing it up.
Like that. So maybe it's fine, Dana, but also with some hypocrisy. Working class, but also raking in $700 tickets at Coachella. Yeah. I don't know.
Private jets.
Well,
Private
Jessica
jets, all the
says
things.
they're in crouching mode. It's more like fetal position. I mean, it is bad. And Doug Sosnick is a great political analyst during the Clinton administration, has a big deep dive in Politico today. And one of the things he says is anytime after a presidency is won, like Trump winning, then the next couple of years, even possibly 4 years, there's really only a party and a half. So it's the Republican Party and then half a Democratic Party because they might try to win the midterms. But I got to say, the Republicans have to be pretty happy that David Hogg is at the DNC saying, we are going to destroy all the moderate Democrats.
Now, to make this even more hilarious, CNN recently did a poll talking about, are Democrats even for the working class? Because, you know, Democrats have always been for the working people for a while now, but I don't know if David Hogg knows this. You might want to do some research on your messaging about the working class or this progressive movement.
This, to me, is one of the most shocking pieces of poll data that I truthfully have seen this year, or maybe in any prior year.
Really?
Yes, really, because I want you to take a look. Cares more about the needs for people like you. You mentioned the Cape Ball. We got a tie, even after this tariff war had already started, split between Democrats and Republicans on how people feel. Which party cares more for needs of people like you? And why is that so surprising? Because I want you to take a look at prior years. Democrats always lead on this question. Back in 2017, before the 2018 midterms, 13-point lead. 2005, a 23-point lead for Democrats. 1994, which was a big Republican year, a 19-point lead for Democrats. And now, all of a sudden, a tie? All of a sudden, the Democrats, who are the party of the people, no more. We get a tie on this question, on a question that has traditionally overwhelmingly been a Democratic advantage. Which party cares more for the needs of people like you? It's truly something I would not have expected to see, especially after this tariff war had begun.
Now, when it comes to the leadership of the Democrat Party, I think it's safe to say absolutely nobody actually knows who's in charge right now. Enjoy this clip.
Pretty unprecedented, is it not, for a DNC vice chair to talk about putting money towards primarying Democrats?
Unheard of. The DNC is supposed to unite the party, but what we're watching live is a civil war inside the Democratic Party, and they're fighting for new leadership. And this is what's going to happen. Remember, AOC did this exact same thing a couple years ago, and the party tried to shut her down when she would primary other members in Congress. But she raised the most money of any member in Congress in the last quarter. She's getting the biggest crowds. And this is what I predict. They're going to fight to see who becomes leader of this party. Right now, it's really AOC and Bernie Sanders. But this is what's going to happen. They're going to run against Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, and Hakeem. That will be a motivating factor. They will raise more money running against Democrats than they will running against Republicans. And whoever comes out of that will become the leader of the Democratic Party. And if they go so far, remember, AOC and Bernie Sanders are socialists. They literally registered as socialists. AOC came into the party campaigning for Bernie Sanders. This is so far how far this party has moved, and it shows. They are more at home going to a Latin American country than fighting for a hardworking American.
And look, to be fair, the ratings are so low for Democrats right now, it's almost as if they have nothing to lose. Something else I want to mention, this really is perfect timing for the Republican Party, considering Donald Trump is not going to be here forever. So you can only get so many endorsements from Donald Trump. Elon Musk, it looks like he's out the door here very soon. He already even gave a date that Doge is going to quote-unquote self-implode, and I'm sure we're not going to see a lot of Elon Musk in the future. So this really all is a blessing for the Republicans and conservatives because this is much needed, especially in the very near future.
Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove. 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious, you just can't get worse than these numbers.
David Hogg, who I know you know, a vice chair of the Democratic National Committee, he's going to be joining us on the roundtable. And he is pursuing this effort to unseat some Democrats in safe seats through primary challenges. He's talked about a culture of seniority politics that is not working for the party. He said, quote, "We need a better Democratic Party and need to get rid of the Democrats in safe seats who do not understand what is at stake now, who are asleep at the wheel, not meeting the moment, and are a liability now into the future of our party." What's your response to this idea of targeting some of your Democratic incumbents?
Well, I look forward to standing behind every single Democratic incumbent, from the most progressive to the most centrist and all points in between. They're working hard in their communities, rising to the occasion. This past week, we had, of course, a Medicaid Matters Day of Action, a Safe Social Security Day of Action, and we have to continue to do all of the things. Rallies, town hall meetings in Democratic districts, town hall meetings in Republican districts, days of action, telephone town hall meetings, site visits, press conferences. We are in a more is more environment, and more is going to continue to be required of all of us.
Now, Hakeem Jeffries seems to be the only Democrat right now who is in a leadership position who's come out and said, we are not for this. I look forward to running with Democrats, not against Democrats. So anyway, we are in the beginning stages of the Democrat Civil War, all being funded by Democrats, I guess. Anyway, as a Republican myself, I could care less. I'm just trying to show you guys this is currently what's happening. A little bit of good news for conservatives, but some pretty bad news for Democrats. Anyway, let's see what happens. If you are still watching this video, I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and we'll see you all later.